It is another week right here with Brenda Renge. It is what it is, Powerhouse Property Group and JPAR, the Sears Group. Now, normally I have Chris Sears here with me as my co-host, but guess what? Today we have Jessica Lee Giovanni. Gio. I love it. So yes, Jessica is with me, and I'm really grateful to her. Jessica and I met several years ago when JPAR first started. I think
we did. We were one of the first 10 agents to join JPAR, the Sears Group.
That is absolutely correct. And so then Jessica was here, and then she moved. Hers went away.
It was so sad. It was a very sad day.
It was a very sad day. But then hers came back about a month or two ago. 2 months ago, probably, right? You came back?
We came back this summer. Yes.
December.
Yeah.
This summer. So she was gone about a couple of years, almost full couple.
2.5 years.
Yeah, 2.5 years. So she's back, and we are so glad to have her back. And she's a lot like me in the sense that we're really off the cuff type of girls. We just kind of talk. One of the reasons is why this is called It Is What It Is. Whatever. It is just the way I roll. And you'll get to see that. Sometimes I'm going to probably be a little bit serious, and sometimes I'm not. And I have no idea what's going to come out of my mouth. But that's why I have asked her to be my co-host when Chris is not around. She can help me, and we can just have fun together, So one of the great things that we talked about last week, we talked about our agent toolbox, right? So one of the other things, we have like 9 different things that we have here.
9 tools and growing.
Yes, 9 tools and growing. So let everybody know who we have in the studio today and what she'll be talking about.
So today we have a absolutely phenomenal, beautiful girl, gal, lady, whatever you want to call her. She is our empowerment, our builder.
I'll take all the above.
Okay,
Okay. She is our builder empowerment coach. That loves on our builder community and loves on our agents and just provides them so much more that ties into our toolbox that we talked about last week, plus so much beyond that. So, and she's incredible at what she does, and her spirit is enthusiastic.
Aw, my heart, y'all. My heart. Oh my God.
Well, it's true. So let's talk about this. Let's start in the beginning, meaning with JPAR.
Okay, that's a good beginning.
Yeah,
Before that, I wouldn't say it was so great, but yes.
But you're beginning with JPAR. What brought you here? The whole approach that Chris and I've got this going on that he'd been working on, and tell us a little bit about that, and then to where we are
Talk
today.
about It Is What It Is.
Yes, exactly.
Talk about that. So I actually, the first time I ever met Chris, funny story. I was working at a venue and. Basically calling in my wheel well. I've been in new home construction for 8 years and realtors and all these fun things. And what's funny is I was actually stepped away from the business for like 8 or 9 months to get a break. But that's all I knew. So the events that I booked for this venue was all realtor based, all new home construction, all things like that. And I was holding a happy hour.
Of course.
And the first time I met him,
real estate.
I know that's real estate. And the first time I met him, we actually didn't talk anything real estate. We talked absolutely nothing. We talked about kids. We talked about our families and how important those things are to us. And I happened to see him a month later, another happy hour, Cinco de Mayo. And it was one of those things. He's like, you know what, Crystal, this is not what you do. This isn't what you do. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, what? Come on, tell me the story. I got to know what's really going on. Like, this is not really you. And I told him my past and how I started new home construction as a hostess, actually set in a model home, and then made my way into the design center for 5 years.
Oh, fun.
I loved all the pretty things. Oh, I loved all the pretty things. And then COVID hit. And people had to readjust and come up with different means and all these things. Well, I had a lot going on in my life at the time, so it actually came at a perfect time to transition into a different role. I joined a different real estate team at that time and jumped on to business development for their builder program.
Okay.
And it's so funny, and I know you know this. Salespeople don't stay in the same place for very long, right, with builders. And all these people that I had met and known for 5-6 years at Pulte, I can say that, Pulte Homes was great. I love them to death, love them. Are now at all these different builders. So when I would go make calls for this team that I was working for, I already knew everybody in the office. So it was great because I was like, hey girl, what's going on? How are the kids? This is so great. And I kind of honed in on that and touched base with all those relationships and kept touch. And that's one of my biggest things. And I tell everyone, keep in touch. That's the best thing, because you never know when they're going to come back into your life. Right. And then I left that team, took a nice little stint, and it's so funny. It keeps coming back. And it was a sign. And Chris was the same way. It was like, we were meant to meet. This was supposed to happen. Now, let me tell you, blah, 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 all these great things. And he's like, this is the Builder Empowerment Program. And I've been working for 18 months. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And at first time I heard it, I was like, this is too good to be true. Like, you are so full of it, man. Like, come on. Like, nobody's this nice.
I say that a lot about what Chris comes up with.
No, it's the truth. But it's like, first of all, nobody's this nice. There's no way all the stuff that he's gone through, and he is still pushing and wanting to be better and wanting the best for everyone, right?
Right.
And creating that ecosystem that he keeps talking about. Right. So it's like, oh, there's just no way. And then went to lunch and talked about, okay, what do you want to do for your future? I'm like, well, this is what I would love to do. And I as much as I don't believe in your program, I do believe in this program. I'm like, how come no one else is doing it? This is crazy to me. So I jumped on the bandwagon, and I haven't looked back. It was one of those meant to be moments.
Yeah, exactly. You know? That's so cool, though.
Yeah.
You know,
all because of a happy hour. It is what it is, girl.
It is.
One relationship, a sip at a time.
Exactly. It could have been on the golf course, but it was not.
That's a show that we might have to start. Relationship one sip at a time, because holy cannoli.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so with that being said, great. We hear how it happened, what it comes. So when you came on,
yes, ma'am,
and then you're like, okay, you just got to start rolling. What was it that you had? You already had relationships with a lot of the builders.
Yes.
So when people come in, what does that really mean? Builder Empowerment Program.
Oh my gosh.
What does that really mean?
So first of all, people are like, whoa, that's a lot of words. Because I'm like, I'm the director of the Builder Empowerment Program at JPAR Sears Group. I'm like, whoa, okay, that's a lot. I'm like, okay, let me scale it down a little bit. So what I'm easy peasy. I'm building a bridge between the realtor and the new home construction. That's all I'm doing.
Yep.
And as crazy and as simple as that is, that's all it is. I go out in the field, I'm rekindling those relationships with sales teams and their management and things like that, and telling them about our great programs and how easy it is. Like, we literally just want to help you get that sale. We want to help those buyers get into those homes. That's the end deal. We want to make everyone homeowners.
Right, exactly. And some of our other tools that we have could actually be used to help with that Builder Empowerment Program.
Correct.
You know?
So we have the main 4 programs right now that we use, which are Ribbon, Divvy, we use TL Global, and then Re-Up, which is the brand new program that Chris just brought on. And they basically go to anything that's going on in life. Someone who has low credit score, someone who had a new job and now they've got to figure out what they're going to do, or they have a house to sell, or they have a house they need to sell but it needs refurbishing, like all these different things. We've got to answer for all that.
So how does that benefit everything that you're doing? How does it benefit me, a realtor in JPAR? That's great that you're building a relationship, but what does that really mean?
What does that mean? That means that I'm giving you leads. Here, take them, please. Because
there's something about
this.
So
the silver. So I know, right? So the silver lining, and I make this joke. I make this joke, but it's a joke, but it's not a joke. I'm not a realtor.
Right.
I am not a licensed realtor. You don't want me to be a realtor. You don't want me to get my license, because I will put you all to shame. I will take over new home construction. And it's because I love it, and I love what I do. And I love those relationships, and I know what we can do with these things. I just have 1 million kids at the moment, and I don't have time.
Her's got 5 kids, in case you're wondering.
Yeah.
5. But wait, you have 4.
I only have 4. She beats me.
Just by one.
Just by one. But even still, in a baseball, I mean, that's all that counts is 1 point, right? You know what? This might turn into a competition.
No, we're done. I'm done. Okay. We're done.
Yeah, we're done. Are you though?
I'm done.
I'm done.
Oh yeah, we're down for the count. We're done. No, so it's one of those things where I'm generating these leads for JPAR, and I'm like, please help these people. That's the whole point. I want you to have those great relationships with salespeople. I want them to know that JPAR is the answer.
Right. Exactly.
That is my goal. I want them to know that we're the answer. If there's an issue, we're there to help. Yep. We want to make sure that you make your goal every month. We want to make sure that home buyer gets into their dream home. Whatever it is, we are there.
Yeah. See, I love that. I love that program. When you become, when you are a realtor here with JPAR, you want to get into the certification program because that's one way that you are going to be able to down the road as things start, growing with it, getting those leads that you're talking about. But you have to be certified. And what does that certification actually entail?
So getting certified is, first of all, we hold a class once a month, and they're at a different location every month. So once again, building those builder relationships. We're in model homes in new construction communities.
Right.
A lot of people that I've known for years, I'm like, hey girl, how about you hosting about 20 people? And they're like, yes, please. And I'm like, and they're realtors. Lord, great. So it's just calling in those favors basically. But I want them to meet us and say, oh my God, wow. And also hear about those programs at the same time, because once the salesperson believes in the program, it's a whole nother ballgame. Right. Every person I've talked to, they're like, oh my gosh, no one else is doing this. Why is no one else doing this? And I'm like, exactly. I'm like, it's mind blowing. So they come to the class once a month. And we talk about all the programs. We go in depth. Chris does the class.
Right.
I'm there to answer any questions they may have about the community, the salesperson, all those kind of fun things. And then he gives you that, just like that little list that you have right there. And they go online and you register with Ribbon and Divvy. TL Global is a class that I believe they have classes twice a week. And then Re-Up, they let people know how often those are. I believe it's like once a week. And those are
online.
Those are online as well.
Yes. So
TL Global's the
complete.
TL Global's the only one that's in person.
See, guys, this is really good stuff.
Yeah.
So one other bonus to this is when you're a new agent or an agent in general, knowing all the communities around the greater Houston area is really difficult. And we have a phenomenal resource here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? JPAR Sears Group has Crystal here as this resource to help tie you into that. If you have that client that comes out of the blue looking for a certain area, she can help point you in the right direction. And she can also let you know,
Make a call.
hey, here's the places that have certain incentives to make sure that the dreams always do come true for your clients.
Yes.
So she's that connecting
She
piece.
is that connected piece. Let me tell a little quick story. You should remember this one because I called you on it or went into your office about it. But
I don't know what you're talking about.
this is what's so cool. Okay, so a newer agent, a new agent that is we have here. Her client did what? Went looking around and did what then? We all know as realtors what happens. If you're not with a builder and didn't go in there, they're not going to put you on that contract should your client decide without you to go under contract, right? To buy a home without you. Now you've been working with them and all this great stuff. Well, I had an agent call me and was like, what can I do? She had a buyer's rep, which was her saving grace. Okay, so we'll be talking about these down the road as well, more things. But the buyer's rep agreement basically saved her. But what really saved her, honestly, is and knowing to go in there and talk with her, I immediately hooked her up with Crystal. So that Crystal, with the relationships that she has, can call and learn about these people, talk to them, whatnot. And what happened?
So I called her and I was like, okay, so tell me what's going on. What happened? And she's like, oh my gosh. She's like, I'm new. And I'm like, it's okay. It's fine. Like, tell me what happened. Well, he went in looking and I think he signed a contract. Well, he signed a contract. She's like, yes. Okay. And you weren't on it. And she's like, no, I was not put on it. And I'm like, okay. What's the builder? Well, first off, this is a very, very new builder to Houston. So as soon as she told me, I'm like researching, who is this? I won't mention who it was. And I started doing research and I'm like, they are new. So I started calling around to my friends. I'm like, hold on, have you heard of this builder? And they're like, no, I have not heard of this. Reached out to a few more people. They're like, yeah, brand spanking new to Houston. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I just wanted to let her know that she has all the strength and she can be brave and go say to the salesperson, I am the representative of this buyer and I need to be on this contract. And she's like, I don't know. I'm so scared. I'm like, trust me, it's fine. This salesperson, quote unquote, said, oh, I've been in the business for 8-9 years and blah, blah. Well, first of all, if he's been in the business for 8 or 9 years, he should know better. Honestly, right? Realtors talk.
Right.
If they find out that they're getting cut from deals,
they're not going.
They're not going. They're not going to be bringing. They're going to just, happen to pass that neighborhood on the way to somewhere else down the street. So I told her, just go in and let them know. Okay. Well, what is your buyer saying? Oh, well, he said he'd talk to him. No. What is your buyer saying? because you have an agreement with him and they need to uphold their end of the bargain, right?
Right.
So going back and forth a couple of different times, she mustered up the strength. She's like, okay. She's like, oh my gosh. She calls me. She's like, oh my gosh, they're going to put me on the contract. That's right. Because there's no reason to not be on the contract.
Right.
And I had to give her a couple of words to use. Like, it would be really sad for other realtors to hear that this brand new builder came to Houston and doesn't want to, help out the realtors and bring in business.
Right.
That'd be really sad.
Yeah.
Really sad. Yeah. So, and she's said it in her own way, of course, because I think I said it way more aggressive when I told her the first time. I was just like, how dare they? But she did it, and she was the happiest person. And she was like, you have no idea. I'm like, and it's okay. Call me anytime you have these questions. I have no problems. Like, I told her I was ready to go to war. I was like, give me the address. I'm ready to go right now. I'm going to go talk to this person because how dare you? And she's like, but I wanted her to try and do it on her own because, in this business, if you can't do it on your own, you're not going to make it.
Right.
And you need those coaches and you need those mentors to help guide you through. And that's what we're there for.
To help empower you.
To help
That's
empower you.
why it's the empowerment program.
Yeah.
And that's why we empower at JPAR.
Yes.
Overall for everything.
We're so excited. Speaking of that, that's going to be our next week. We're going to be talking about the mentorship, the coaching program. So we do have that. So you're absolutely correct. That is one of the things that we do focus on to help build that and uplift these new agents to have the confidence. To do what you need to do in this business because it does take time. Some of us, based on wherever we may have done before,
oh my gosh,
we already got some of that, and we just now need to learn what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But others just maybe just don't have that yet. So that's what I love about that. So we're going to be talking about that. Yeah. But everybody, just so you'll know, again, it's Crystal Roper. Yeah. She is our Builder Empowerment Program a guru, and definitely can go to her.
Girl-roo.
Yeah, or
Girl-roo.
Oh, I like it.
I kind of like that. I kind of want some shirts now. I'm just saying. I
girl
like
you.
I'm like, I kind of like it. I'm digging it.
No, listen, let's make shirts. Okay, I love that. That's so cool. But really, seriously, in all honesty, I appreciate you. I'm grateful that you were there. That because I always just love putting pieces together. Who can help this? Who can help this? And boom, because that's just kind of the way I enjoy doing that. Yeah. And helping find answers for people. So thank you for that. You're just such a great asset to being with JPAR and helping out. I'm so glad you and Chris went to happy hour.
I know, right? Yes. And what's funny with the coaching and the mentoring, well, I don't know if you were in the office that day, but we had a situation where we had a Divvy spokesperson coming in and actually going to do a class and had a death in the family, so they couldn't come at the last minute. So the night before, talk about a panic mode. I call Chris because I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. And he's like, you know what you need to do.
Yeah. That's right. That's that one where you had to wind up me.
Very next day, I made a flyer overnight and blasted it the very next morning. I'm like, by the way, change and so what are we doing? Change the subject. I was like, well, we're going to be doing a builder relations empowerment / social media and blah, 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 blah. And I was terrified, absolutely terrified. So I called Chris, who's my mentor, right? And he's like, you got this. I don't know why you're freaking out. It's totally fine. You're going to be great. And then I call my boyfriend, who's a realtor, and he's like, why are you freaking out? You do this every day. You talk to people.
Literally every day.
Literally every day. And he's like, and you're on social media every day. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. So it was
it's just the first thing. That's all it was, initial, and you were.
And I got in there and I started talking and I had to pre-warn. I'm like, just so you know, I am kind of like squirrel. And I start talking about something totally different and I lose track of time. Right.
Those are the most beautiful moments, though.
Oh, man. I had to tell him, like, just look at me and just kind of like wink and I'll go right back to what I was talking about.
Yep.
But it was that the coaching and the mentoring and the team that we have to support each other and everything that we do. Trust me, there's no way. I would have just canceled the class, to be honest, until I talked to them, like, you know what you need to do.
Yeah.
This was part of your game plan when we first started talking. Just do it.
Just do it.
Jump. Yeah, and I did. Oh, my God.
I did. And you did a great job, I heard. So I wasn't able to make that, but I do remember.
Well, there will be more
about
coming.
That.
There will be more of those coming.
So
once I hone in on that stuff. But yeah.
Well, thank you again so much for being here with me and Jess today. And all you guys, we appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you listening here, whether it's on podcast, whether it is on Spotify or Apple or our YouTube channels, whatever way. If you want to reach any of us, you just have to hit us up on social media. Go to JPAR, the Sears Group, go to Crystal Roper, go to Jessica Lee, go to Brenda Ringe, Powerhouse Property Group, however you want. We're here for you. We'll see you next time.